Alright, welcome back to another episode of Witch on the Whole Night. We're gonna do chapter 1.5. I know that got unlocked without any indication, which was a little bit weird, but oh well. Let's go through them. Morning in that city moved incredibly fast. It made one wonder if it was even a morning at all, with people so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Cutie mode? That got my eye. The unfamiliar roar that awoke in him reminded him of a rock slide. The identity of the monstrous sound was the engine of a motorcycle. Mr. Yoshida, his neighbor, was leaving for work. It was hard to determine when night ended and morning began here. The town's urbanization was synonymous with insomnia.
信じられない。まだ日も昇ってないのに。吉田さんはどこに行くのか。
Yeah, sluggishly lifted himself off the floor. I kept pressing the button. Right. He cut himself, started to survey his surroundings out of habit before the sank bare of it, and made his way to the washroom. There, he poured himself a cup of water and slowly gulped it down. Having been relegated to well water until recently, he found the convenience pleasing. Please was definitely the word that best described how he felt. Civilization is about the risk inconveniences through optimization. The reduction of labor in our daily lives. Mr. Koga had taught him that while the essentials were easier than ever to get our hands on, life itself was growing more and more complex. So true it was his duty to adjust to his new reality. As a distant relative of Soujuurou's father, Mr. Koga had taken Soujuurou in, even though the boy had been little more than a stranger in his life till that point. Mr. Koga had helped him get registered at school and find an apartment to lease. Though he had insisted that Soujuurou handle his residence card and registered his change of address by himself. This series of procedures proved exceedingly difficult for Soujuurou, but knowing that this was a part of his new city life, he did his best to complete them diligently. While they may have a reputation for being a stickler for the rules, city officers aren't all that bad. It was the first thing Soujuurou learned after beginning his life in the city. 2 weeks had elapsed since he left the countryside. As uneasy as living alone made him feel, he felt he could make it work. It was not as if the people here spoke our language, and Mr. Koga was absolutely right about how practical the rules of the city were. All you have to do is just not kill people. It's that easy. Soujuurou continued down the hard but surprisingly walkable path. Before work, he jogged in the park to pass the time. Even exercise like this offered lessons for Soujuurou to learn. Each passing person was a new face to look at. The old man who greeted him. The young porker with his eyes to the ground. And the girl on the bench, surrounded by birds. They were all unfamiliar sights to Soujuurou. Unaccustomed to the city, he labored to understand its rules. That's a weird clock. Whether they were complex or simple, or completely meaningless. Please compare the mountain life, which all adult nature, to life but one with way too many options. You could argue that such an environment was toxic for Soujuurou. His life was a string of unsettling moments. But amongst it all, there were rules that he sincerely admired. For one, the city revolved around various forms of profit and loss. fact that one only needed to have money to get bare essentials to survive the city was a comforting thought to Soujuurou.
いや、そうシンプルな話じゃねえよ。金なんてものはあくまで記号で、本当に大事なのは別にあんだからさ。
I don't know, I prefer to be eaten. Wait, to eat.
所詮は流動する肩たたき券と変わんねっつうが、別に1万円札食ってもうまくねえっつうが。ともかく金で真心は買えねえじゃん。
Especially if that food is boasting with its 3-day expiration date.
じゃねえよ、ざけんなよ。俺は悲しいよ。
This brings us the fucking worst. Holy shit.
ついこの間まで4000ポッチの日当に鹿みたいに首かしげていた正直者がくだらねえ皿洗いをしながら、ま、世の中金だよねなんてボソッと言わないでくれっつな。
いや、貨幣制度は素晴らしいと思う。正直物々交換の限界を感じた。それより木の実、ふざけてるとそれ落とすぞ。
What is fucking again? Exchange goods or services for other goods and services without using money.
っておお、やべやべ、次割ったら今度こそ俺の頭が割られちまうからな。忠告サンキュー。それで相談事？何？もしかして金？
そうなんだ。とりあえずお金は大事で、たくさんあるに越したことはないって痛感した。なんでできればもうちょっと働きたい。
マジ？マシーンみたいに皿洗いをこなしながら夢のないこと言わないでほしいな。世の中金じゃねえって言ったばかりじゃんか。やっぱラブじゃんか。ところで水冷たくないですかね。冬場の皿洗いって割り合わねえことこの上ねえよな。
そりゃ冷たいけど、これぐらいは我慢しないと。山の水は冷たいっていうより痛かったし。
氷水と同じにすんな野生じめ。しかしあれだね、呆れた順能力、いや忍耐力つうの。レジ打ちすらできなかった新人がよ、たった4日でしみったれた飯屋の社畜になっちまうなんて、やっぱ世の中金ってことかね。資本主義ってすげえ。
うるせえぞバカバイト、文句あんならやめちまえ。うちにはごくつぶしにくれてやる小遣いはねえ。
The complaints and chopsticks flew at them like a storm. Ow. The smith's a Chinese restaurant manager was a stubborn man who was willing to let minors work for him and didn't shy from violence, even if it was directed at the son of a lifelong friend. Soujuurou felt that this is what Sparta must have been like.
ほら怒られた。任されたことはきちんとやらないと。
優等生ね。こっちは何かと反抗したい年頃だっつの。まあいいや、話は変わるんだけどよ。しずき夜に出歩くタイプ？それかチャリンコで出張る趣味？いやまあどっちかでいいんだけど。
バイトの帰りはほとんど夜になるけど、そういう話じゃないんだよな。夜の散歩も遠出も趣味じゃないけど、それが？
いや何さ、しずき引っ越してきたばかりだって言うからよ。俺らが言うのもなんだけど、うちちょい治安が悪いっての？柄が悪いわけじゃねえんだけどな。年間10人ぐらい通り魔事件っての？そういうの起きてっから。
通り魔ってなんだ？
そっからかよ。なんだほら、カバン強盗でもないか。辻斬りってのが近いのか。住宅街とかまだ森が残ってる方によく出やがるんだよ、そういうおかしいのが。 なんであんまり夜遅くは出歩くなよな。三崎岡の公園とか有名な怪奇スポットだから。
So what you're really telling me is, go there. It's very interesting.
通り魔の犯人は口裂け女だったって話知らねえか？
ごめん、まずその口裂け女ってのがわからない。
怪談だよ。口が耳まで裂けてるってやつ。今じゃさすがに時代遅れだけどよ。なんだっけ？深夜の道にな、コート姿の女が待ち伏せていて、私、綺麗とか聞いてくるんだよ。で、綺麗って言っても、いまいちって言っても家まで追っかけられて殺されるの。女の少年はおっかねえっつうか、アメコミの怪人っぽいっつうか。
いや、それ本気で怖くないか？家まで上がってくるのか、その女の人。
Yes, and she asks you for chocolate as well.
窓から入ってくるらしいぜ。ガサガサとこうゴキブリみたい。ギャッ
のクソガキが厨房でその4文字は禁止だってんだろ。殺すぞ。
Right, the back of Konami's head exploded in pain with the impact of his boss's frying pan.
殺すってバカじゃねえの？普通そっちの方が禁止用語じゃねえの？ここレストランなんだしさ。いや、あんまうまくねえけど。
ひなみ、頭大丈夫か？
え？ああ、うん。心配無用。俺なんだか頑丈さには定評があるから。特に頭部について。ともかく、そういうわけなんで夜の暗がりは気をつけるぞな、もし。しずき、見るからにカモそうな顔してるし。
Go into the dark side.
ありがとう。ところで、年間10人というのは多い方なのか？
知んねえよ。少なくはないだろうけど、多い方でもないんじゃねえか。ま、うちの通り魔事件が他に比べて厄介なのは、まだ犯人が見つかってないってことだからね。
You laughed cheerfully. Konami was probably trying to take the edge off his story, but the noble intention of his life was completely lost in Soujuurou. His friendly warning was equally futile. Soujuurou was simply impressed that Konami was able to laugh it off. On the way home, however, nobody ahead or behind, Soujuurou proceeded through the dimly lit street when suddenly... Ow. Paul. He turned to face an improbable sound.
あいた。
Something stabbed him in the hand and fell to the floor. He frowned. Why the fuck is there a knife in my hand? Ow! What the fuck? The small bird had apparently flown into the telephone pole and before landing on its head. The starling cleaned itself off and flew away. Run away, you bastard. The falling of the bird. And his desperate escape thereafter. Wasn't like anything he had experienced in his life up to now. Most of the townsfolk would have seen the incident as unlucky, ominous, or even sinister. But Soujuurou had just nodded and went about his business. Bleeding. You understand. What might happen at first for him was surely an everyday occurrence for these city folk. That was kind of short for the first one, but well, we can do the second one also. Yes, it's actually and a couple packs of paracetamol will do the trick to survive in these trying times.
たったいまー。ねえ、アリス帰ってる？
Yeah, are you? Because by the look of that one small picture, we got some chalky Dragon Balls.
教会から帰るとき、商店街でお土産もらっちゃった。伊勢屋のせんべい、一緒に食べない？
You wanna share some, even though you brought them yourself? Your waits everybody through the foyer dyed in the colors of the setting sun. And that was after 5 in the afternoon when Aoko, still in her school uniform, cheerfully returned home. She had finished her student council duties and attended her monthly meeting with the church.
お帰りなさい。その様子なら何事もなく終わったみたいね、青子。
The voice was coming from the second floor. In contrast with Aoko and her boundless energy, a considerably calmer girl descended from above.
難癖はつけられたけど滞りなく。うちの問題はうちの問題だから、今回も手は出さないって方向でまとまったわ。それでいいのよね、アリス。
ええ。猫の手なら借りたいけど、あの人たちの手は信用ならないし。いつも通り、後処理だけお願いしましょう。
賛成。後ろからバッサリやられかねないしね。だいたい、私もあんたも背中を気にして没頭できるからじゃないし。
私はできるけど。青子は単に、まだそれほどの余裕がないだけでしょ。
うん。
Tap, tap. With a graceful sounds of her steps, Alice entered the foyer. As she did, Aoko's eyes were directed towards the skylight above.
ガラス、曇ってるわね。
そのことで話があるわ。
Only I was a little bit taller to reach
今日の
that.
課題が終わったらだけど。青子、体の調子は？疲れているなら休みを入れてもいいけど。
え？何よ、気味悪いな。気遣いされることなんてないってば。いつも通りの一日だったし。そんな疲れた顔してる？私。
At school activities went, today's were a breeze. At a glance, her school life might have seemed almost idyllic. Though the more she thought about it, some headache inducing incidents may have stood out here and there. And with some sincere respect. Hey! I don't want to talk to you. In some serious introspection, Aoko might have recognized the signs of her own mental fatigue, but doing so would have further added to her stress.
ストップ。なんで帰ってきてまであんなののことで疲れなくちゃいけないんだ、私。今日の課題って初歩のウィッシュでしょ？
Okay, I thought I was misreading. Thought it was memorize basics.
問題ないわ。
Maybe it is?
すぐ始めましょう。今日はなんか勢いでうまくいきそうな気もするし。
I'm not kind of question. I'm bad at English, so. I like that enthusiasm. I'll go focus on shooting your anger and stress. And headed upstairs with gusto.
どうしたのよ？アリスの部屋でやるんじゃないの？
The formally dressed Alice nodded in slight dissatisfaction.
それで、伊勢屋のせんべいって今日の？
She looked at the freshly baked treats Aoko was holding. That's cute. In the end, their lesson took place after Alice had her cup of tea. For an apprentice like Aoko, Alice Kuonji was a kind of roommate and teacher that was hard to come by. If she insisted that Aoko rest to preserve her health, Aoko had no choice but to comply. The lesson was over after 2 hours. The two finished their dinner they had prepared and decided on a change of venue for where they would spend the last hours of the day. The sunroom was was next to the drawing room in the east wing of the residence and offered a view of the beautiful grounds. The Aoko Aozaki estate's luxurious sunroom featured furnishings on par with those displayed in the drawing room. Meanwhile,
来年の夏はジャングルね、この分だと。
the grounds outside had fallen into disrepair, neglected by the owner.
ねえアリス、庭掃除専用のプロイとかいないの？
Aoko took a step into the sunroom and poured some tea.
探せばいるかもしれないけど、少し手間ね。
Playing along with her roommate's joke, Alice made to sit in her chair. Balls. Oh, those are the crackers. Just as she thought, she got to set up the box of chocolates on the table, her lovely eyes narrowed in a frown.
何よ、言っとくけど、今日の失敗は半分アリスのせいよ。おせんべいで気が緩んだのが敗因っていうか、そりゃウィッシュのつもりがガンドになっちゃったのは我ながら攻撃的すぎると思うけど。
6個減ってるわ。
なんだ、そっちのことか。
Aoko's eyes stared intently at the box of chocolates. And I confused them for the crackers for a split second. You could search the world and never find a finer selection of chocolates. The man with sixpence songs, apparently.
で、鏡の話をするんだっけ？あれ、今洋館モードから岬モードになってるんでしょ？
ええ。ここの管理はおざなりになるけど、岬市だけに切り替えたわ。それが昨日から曇り出している。少しずつだけど確実に包囲されてるわね。
包囲って数が増えたってこと？
捕捉していた1名はもちろん、他にもう2名ほど不審者を目撃済み。都市部に1、郊外の森に2ね。
はあ、あんたの目撃談は当てになるからな。で、うるさいのはどっち？
森の方。捕捉中だけど、こっちの目に気づいているみたい。なかなか誘いに乗ってこないわ。
I think we're gonna be shown that in one of the later chapters.
そっか。
Seeing that was pretty cool. Honestly, I can't wait to get to it again.
じゃあ今夜仕掛ける。
To go after it tonight. One simple suggestion that would change the course of her life forever. It was no overstatement to say that this was a roll of the dice that would decide whether she had the moxie to survive the experience of jumping out of a plane with a torn parachute. Aoko swelled their hesitation and paired with a little team. On the school's anniversary night, she declared that she had made up her mind, and from that time on, she would not waver. Alice welcomed her roommate's strength with a barest hint of regret. As someone who shared the same motivation as her, Alice was ultimately reassured by Aoko's resolve. No, perhaps more pleased than reassured. Now it had taken the better part of a year, but finally Aoko had stepped out of Alice's shadow. The two partners now shared the same fate. Aoko was not the partner Alice had asked for, but the partner nonetheless. Strangers, worlds apart. And even if eventually they would battle each other to the death using all they had inherited, it was only right they did it on equal terms. It was, at least for now, a cause for celebration over how far Aoko had come.
せっかくだけど、今夜は私一人で十分よ。そんな余裕があるのなら、あなたはもう少し暗示の練習をするべきね。公演はあなたの担当だから、その時は働いてもらうけど。
Alice did not so much as look at Aoko as she explained her reasons. To scale up the enemy she would face that night. Her plans for Aoko. For in only 2 days from now on, Aoko Aozaki would be reborn.
はいはい、わかりました。
Aoko finished her tea and stood up from her seat.
お言葉通り、暗示の練習でもやってるわ。一節目は確か、軽く弱くうまく早く、チクタクチクタク急げや急げよね。
そこは軽く弱くうまく早く急げや急げチクタクチクタクよ。気をつけなさい。それだと逆に落ち着かなくなるわ。
そうだったそうだった。じゃ、一つ失礼。
Aoko grabbed a piece of chocolate that popped it into her mouth. Who said you could touch my chocolate? She waited before leaving Alice alone in silence. Alice stiffened a moment before slamming the box of chocolates shut as if it could serve the scold Aoko for snacking. Well then. Okay, gonna read the rest for another time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another episode. And if you're gonna be short, we're gonna be continuing on a bit the main chapters.
やめばやめばやめばよーやめばやめばやめばやめばやめばよー